The plot has very much thickened on the path to uprising tonight, live in Sheffield. Dave Bradshaw here with RevPro owner and booker Andy Quildan. We've just come off air a few minutes ago. As always, we could start anywhere, but chaos in the main event for the second week in a row. Now, and amongst all that, we're going to talk obviously about the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship situation, but the Young Guns, having just successfully retained their tag team titles in an epic main event against Conor Mills and Jay Joshua, they felt a little bit disrespected that the heavyweight title scene seemed to kind of take over the aftermath of the match. So out of respect to the Young Guns, let's start there. They were asking post-match who their next opponents would be. They didn't have to wait long for an answer because guess who came through the crowd?
You going to tell him, or am I?
I was going to let you.
Brendan White and Danny Jones, the Greedy Souls, former undisputed British tag team champions, great British tag league winners. They've got credentials coming from everywhere. Tag team gold all over the place. Recently on the WXW tag team tournament as well. You know the official name. What's the official name?
It was the World Tag Team Tournament.
Won the World Tag Team Tournament for WXW in Germany. Greedy Souls are the very real deal, and the Young Guns call themselves the best in the world, and they get another opportunity to prove it, this time against Greedy Souls. Another fresh, exciting match. Good to see Greedy Souls back in Revolution Pro Wrestling. And of course, it looks like a collision course has been set for December 14th from the Vale Arena in Cardiff, where the Greedy Souls just so happen to make a home.
Is that official?
Well, why not? Look how pleased he is with himself because he's got a swoop.
Investigative journalism, baby. All right, so that's the tag team scene. Let's talk about the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship situation. It's kind of a role reversal tonight in that last week in London, Jay Joshua told Sha Samuels, you know what, you can fight in the main event for the tag team titles. As soon as that's done, I'm coming after you. This week, Samuels said the same to Joshua. He lived up to that promise, immediately entered after the main event finished. And just like last week, Leon Slater then tried to intervene, but this week, Samuels was ready for him.
Yeah, and I think it's a real sign with Sha Samuels being a wily veteran. You know, you saw him. Tonight was, you know, you could look at the lead up to tonight, and I think, like, tonight was the night when the hunted became the hunter, right? Because Sha Samuels came out, he got into the head of Leon Slater. Like, who knows, like, if Liam Slater wasn't there, who knows what would have gone down right then? Because Leon Slater had just had a hard-fought match with Alan Angels and was victorious, and he could have taken that W and walked away, but he wanted to swing at Sha in the worst way possible. And you could see Sha was getting in that mind of Leon Slater, very veteran-like from Sha Samuels, and just one step ahead. And yeah, you saw him come out to confront Jay Joshua. Leon Slater came from behind. Sha, again, one step ahead, and the night ended with Sha Samuels standing tall, raising that undisputed British Heavyweight Championship above his head. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You know, it takes a very brave man to bet against Sha Samuels because he knows just how important, he knows about the weight of expectation on his shoulders. He knows how important that undisputed British Heavyweight Championship is. And unlike, you know, your Michael Oku's, your Ricky Knight Jr.'s, you know, he doesn't know if he's going to get another opportunity. He doesn't know if he's going to get another chance. So he has to enjoy each and every moment. He said it again and again. You know, he's got more years behind him in professional wrestling than ahead of him. You know, Sha Samuels has been a professional wrestler longer than Leon Slater's been alive.
By some distance,
right?
In fact.
And he made a point of saying that today, calling Leon Slater a kid, getting in his head.
A scared, what did he say? Scared child.
Scared child, yeah. And yeah, that clearly rattled Leon Slater. So like I say, like if we're looking at where the advantage lays today, the advantage lays with Sha Samuels, but this is a very, very interesting time as we head towards Uprising. It's an unpredictable time. Super fight season. Chaos has ensued 2 weeks in a row. But I'm here for it, Dave. And part of me loves it, but there has been a lot of unease as well, along with that. You know, I guess, would it be sadism? Would that, no?
No, not sure that's the word you're after.
Yeah.
But look, yeah, a lot of intrigue and a lot of unpredictability, as you say, super fight season, including in our cruiserweight division, by the way, where in 2 weeks' time, live in Coventry, Leo Rush is going to be challenging the undisputed British cruiserweight champion, Nino Bryant. Rush was in action tonight with a victory over Leon Cage. Also tonight in the cruiserweight division, Joe Lando of CPF finally cashing in the last of those Trios Grand Prix trophies from last year's Trios Grand Prix for CPF, saying at Live in London 102 on December 7th, whoever is the Cruiserweight champion by then will have to defend against him. What are your thoughts in general on the current state of the Cruiserweight division?
Well, I think you called it the most competitive Cruiserweight division we've ever had in Revolution Pro Wrestling, and I think I would agree with that sentiment. So look, I think for our money, we've got the undisputed British Cruiserweight champion is one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. And I say that with no hesitation whatsoever. Nino Bryant's body of work over 2025 has been nothing short of phenomenal. And for someone who, literally made his debut in Revolution Pro Wrestling in November against a man he faces, almost a year to the day in the same venue where he debuted, is going to be something very, very special. And I'm very excited for that moment. But again, look, you can't discount, Joe Lando because, look, he said we cashed in one of these trophies for the tag team championships and we failed. Maverick Mayhew, it's interesting the way he worded this. He said Maverick Mayhew cashed in his championship for personal reasons or personal gain, maybe, against Callum Newman. And he failed. And he said, now I'm going to cash in this trophy and I can't fail. But what's interesting is Danny Black shared his trophy with Joe Lando.
And Black kind of walked out, left Lando in the, I don't want to be,
He wasn't left in the lurch.
stirring the pot. I don't want to be reading too much into it, but Black didn't wait around. It didn't seem like he was delighted with that decision. But
No, because I think perhaps that they'd talked about, a Dream Trios match, maybe a Dream Tag Team match. I mean, look, it's interesting. It seemed that they officially brought in Taylor James as another member of a close personal friends, obviously along with themselves and Maverick Mayhew, who couldn't be here tonight. So I think that's a good fit in the sense of, they train together, they travel the roads together, etc. And then they clearly are close personal friends, and it adds another dimension to Joe Lando and Danny Black when you look at the size of Taylor James as well. That's kind of quite impressive. So, yeah, and he can do some really steezy moves. Is that? I'm using words I don't know.
As the kids say.
Yeah. So look, that's exciting. Where does Danny Black fit into this? Very interesting. Leon Cage is going to want to rebound after that loss to Leo Rush. I think a very different Leo Rush than he was expecting to face. So to me, I just find the whole situation very, very intriguing. And I know that Will Caven's going to be wanting to get back in there. Robbie X is going to be wanting to get back in there. There's just so many names in this cruiserweight division, up and down. So very, very exciting times.
I want to talk a bit as well about the race to be the next challenger for the undisputed British Women's Championship. There was a four-way match tonight after all the drama last week with the Cutthroat Collective. Four of the finest women in RevPro, including one debut, of course, tonight. Ultimately, though, Rio won again. So my question is pretty simple. She's won 4 times in a row. Is that enough to put her at the front of the line?
Look, I think that you can absolutely make that conversation. It's absolutely a discussion to be had. I think that the way that happened tonight, I think Kanji will certainly contest it. I think we certainly need to try and look back at the footage, because what happened, we saw a stereo pair of submissions, one from Kanji, one from Rio. And the opponents tapped at what appeared to be around the same time, but the referee called Rio's first. From my vantage point, it looked like the referee made the right call.
I thought so.
But the angles weren't. We
were closer to where Rio was as well,
Yeah,
so we
that's
probably
it.
would have
So,
seen it first.
yeah.
But
So yeah, but Kanji certainly wasn't happy with that result. And, Rio, she's a victor. And at the end of the day, the referee's decision is final. So, can you make the argument that Rio's pushing towards that number one contendership? Absolutely, you can. So look, we need to speak to Mercedes Moné. We need to speak to her people. We need to get some dates lined up. And we need to start making some stuff happen, because I can see, you see an argument for Rio. You see an argument for Kanji. I'm sure there's a lot of other, women who kind of, would love to put their name in the ring for that Monet match. So to speak. And it's kind of since Mercedes has been the champion of our women's division, you can almost see everyone's kind of up their game, can't you? And I think that's, what having a champion the stature of Mercedes Moné can do for a division. And it's just made it so competitive. And you see the tension between Rio and Kanji. I would say you see the tension between Alexis Falcon and Cat, but Alexis Falcon and everyone have tension. Again, her strategy of making friends has been very interesting to say the least. But look, I'd even say, look at former champions. Look at Zoe Lucas. Look at how Zoe Lucas fared against Kanji, and she's, going to be, well, look, it depends how she takes that loss against Kanji, but she may well be encouraged by her performance against Kanji, and it may push her to take it to the next level, So there's so many possibilities about surrounding that undisputed British Women's Championship, and I think we've just got to let the wrestling play out. We've got to let the discussions go, and we'll see where we reach. But I think, look, would Rio be a worthy contender? Absolutely, she would.
Now, a couple of great returns tonight. Great to see one called Manders back in RevPro. What a match that was against Trent Seven. Great to see Leighton Buzzard back for the first time since April, even though his return didn't go the way he would have liked against RKJ. Ricky Knight Jr. after that match tried to hold you and hold the show hostage until he was added to the title match at Uprising, which he refused to do. Luckily, that kind of stalemate, that standoff, was broken by one called Manders, who wrestled earlier in the night, came out to the ring, and what ensued was a wild brawl between Manders and RKJ. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are, look, I understand why Ricky Knight Jr. did it. He hates you as well, by the way, Dave, and he's probably going to hate the fact that you've waited until, like, it's like, when you watch Match of the Day and it's like, what matches come on last, and
is there anything I could do in this world to please Ricky? Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay. So I'm not stirring stuff.
No, that's exactly what you're doing.
So he just doesn't like you. He doesn't like me either. We were in that same.
He doesn't like me. I don't think he likes anyone.
So yeah, he's just, the attitude he's got at the moment is something else. But listen, Ricky Knight Jr. is I don't like. He said he wants to be he wants a rematch, like Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. He wants that championship back. He wants to become a 3-time Undisputed British Heavyweight Champion. He feels wrong done by the fact that he hasn't been given an automatic rematch. But Ricky Knight Jr., he did what he did the first time he lost that championship match, and he went away. Mm-hmm. Right? And you go away, it's hard to build back that momentum, isn't it? So you've got to start building those wins. And just since he's been back,
which he is doing.
He is.
He's got 3 in a row now.
By very questionable circumstances.
Yeah.
You look at the first one, you had the count-out victory against Trent Seven thanks to interference from the machine. You had victory over JJ Gale, where he jumped him before the match began. David Francisco interference and the feet on the ropes. Right? You had tonight, jumping Leighton Buzzard before the start of the match. In any other environment that would be classed as assault.
He just doesn't care.
He doesn't care. But he's got those wins. And he feels that should be enough to insert him into that Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship match. He said he wants to end the year as Undisputed British Heavyweight Champion. But unfortunately for Ricky Knight Jr., one called Manders had other ideas. And one called Manders also got his sights set on that Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. So, look, it looks like they're on a collision course for each other.
Briefly, let's look ahead to Coventry. So 2 weeks from tonight, we've already mentioned it's going to be Nino Bryant against Leo Rush. Big match for Kanji on that show as well. Trent Seven's going to be teaming with Mark Haskins to finally try and take on the machine once and for all. What are you most looking forward to headed into Coventry?
The whole thing, really, and how it shakes out, because it's just, I just feel like, again, you look at the depth of our cards, especially these last couple of months, it's insane, the depth that we have. And, with all roads leading to Uprising, you've got to think that some people are going to be making some moves to try and get on that card, to try and end the year on a real high.
Well, there's only 2 more stops before Uprising, right? There's Coventry and then live in London.
I'll tell you what we're going to do.
What?
I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Go on.
Coventry, we're going to hopefully see David Francisco get some comeuppance. We're going to put
that would be a shame.
They're going to put together David Francisco and JJ Gale. So let's make this Coventry show as big as possible. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like every single show we do in Revolution Pro Wrestling needs to be of consequence. And to me, like, I know David's talked the talk. JJ said, just make the effing match, Andy.
And so you have.
So here we are. November 23rd, HMV Empire in Coventry. Let's go. JJ Gale versus David Francisco.
Oh, David Francisco. Meet consequences. That's going to
it's about time, really, isn't it? So,
looking forward to that. Looking forward to Coventry. And of course, as we've said, Joe Lando going to be challenging for the Undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship live in London, all on the road to Uprising as well. Andy, thanks as ever for your time.
Do you want some more? Do you want
Oh, you got more?
Well, I just want
I feel like I've got 2 scoops. That's already 2 more than I normally get.
Well, I feel like
I want to push my luck.
I feel like you sat me here. I've got a long drive back from Sheffield today. And I feel like you could at least let me get some plugs in, Dave.
Go on.
I mean? So, look, we've got Wembley Arena coming up, obviously August 29th, 2026. Tickets for that, the mailing list pre-sale will begin on this Tuesday. So hopefully before you see this. So revolutionprowrestling.com/Wembley, sign up to the mailing list. And you will get an email on Tuesday. I believe it's going to be a code this time, to be able to get your tickets for, Wembley Arena when we make history. We're going for the biggest attendance in British professional wrestling, independent professional wrestling. We're going for the biggest RevPro attendance. We're coming for it all. We're coming for a legacy.
I've already told you, by the way, that I'm super excited that it's on Saturday, August the 29th, because that, for those of you who are wrestling historians, will know that's when SummerSlam 92 was.
Was it really?
And I was there. So it's going to...
You were there? And you might be there
it
at
feels,
Wembley Arena.
It feels full circle. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. About those 2026 dates. Was that so? Was that? Yeah, that was a scoop. See you later, mate. So that's coming up. We've got as well. Look. So this year we're in Sheffield 5 times. Next year we're going to be in Sheffield 6 times. We're starting back January the 11th. We're going to have season tickets on sale by the time you read this, revolutionprowrestling.com. Season tickets for Sheffield. We, of course, know season tickets for London are already on sale. We have got a date for Revolution Rumble, which will be announced very, very soon. We're working so hard. When I say we, I'm making it sound like it's a big old team going, but I'm working so hard. I need to give myself more.
The events department.
Yeah. Working so hard to make stuff happen. So watch out. We're going to have a lot more stuff to be announced. And I should add as well, we do have a show in Portsmouth, Buckland Community Centre, another Contenders show, Saturday, November 29th. So 3 weeks time. We're back at Buckland Community Centre with another Contenders show. So super pumped, super excited. We're going to end the year on a high. Obviously after Uprising, we'll be in Southampton on December 28th. We're currently sorting out the dates for 2026 in Southampton as well. But, you know, come the end of this month, we should have a pretty rounded out schedule for the year, at least in broad strokes about, you know, our traditional homes. We are talking to some new venues right now. And, you know, watch this space because, you know, we could be coming to some new areas, very, very soon.
Interesting. And on that cliffhanger, we will end it. Andy, thanks as always. We'll see you in a couple of weeks in Coventry. I hope we will see you there as well. In the meantime, thank you for joining us.